Be respectful.
And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the February sub Patreon Hangout. I am your host, Atheist Ranger, and we have a new face here, and we have some familiar ones. I'd like to meet my new friend, Prometheus the Prophet, and we got Heretic Woman, we got David Fulton, and Lobster Boy. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Going good, man.
Good.
Woohoo!
I am happy. I have coffee.
And Lobster Boy. Oh, sorry.
Hey, somebody's
No, that was
Bit of
me.
a lag.
I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat.
okay. That's why you pop out chat.
Yeah.
I've done that.
What's going on, guys? What's new with you?
Not a whole lot. I mean, it's warm in Canada. That's kind of news in February.
Yeah, that's been like,
in Vermont too. That's also news.
yeah, like 50 degrees today, and Sunday's supposed to suck with a bunch of rain and possible snow, but mostly rain. But at least it's not 6 feet of fucking snow.
Yeah. So what is I know this has probably been talked about to death, but what's everyone's reaction on the whole Florida shooting thing? Because I've been getting a lot of mixed opinions in my own circles.
Well, I think of it like this: when Trump got up on a podium and announced that even if he wasn't armed, that he would have charged in there and gone after the gunman. I don't know. Right now, I feel so safe as an American, knowing that a president would put his life on the line for that. Although 5 deferments for bone spurs, back in the day would have hurt, but. Bone spurs and all, he'd go in there and get that fucking.
Well, Colbert was speculating that maybe he would attack the gunman with spurs.
Yeah.
Or maybe his fake tan would have blinded the shooter.
That's not even a tan, man. It's fucking orange shit.
Or his comb over could restrain him.
Well, I was he could whip off his toupee and throw it like, Wonder Woman's tiara or some shit. Rip him up. Or maybe it expands into one of those big nets that catches people.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea of arming, just the idea of arming teachers and janitors and school staff, just in case there's a fucking gunman, right? All that does is put more fucking guns in a goddamn school, and you're trying to keep them out, I mean, what happens if, like, you get a teacher that's trained, right? They teach you how to use a firearm, teach your basic, shit, that, what happens when she's had a really fucking tough week and little Johnny's in the back fucking room and she can't take that little bastard anymore, right? And she just fucking snaps and shoots the kid in the fucking head, right? I mean, I'm not saying it would happen, but it could, and
we were talking about it on my show last night, and what we were also concerned about was look at how many of these resource officers already beat the shit out of some black kid or
I was just going to say racial issues.
Yeah, racial issues. All it would take is one racist teacher be like, oh, I felt threatened, so I shot the kid,
Yeah. Well, think about it this way. Somebody did an experiment. I saw it on YouTube. Okay, you get 5 white guys carrying fucking assault rifles down a street, and nobody fucking seems to give a shit. You get 5 black guys walking down the street with AR-15s, and people start calling the fucking cops, right?
Yep.
And both have the same intent. They're just open carry. This has happened in Texas.
Theoretically, they have the same right.
Yeah, but yeah. Hey, what do you think about Jared Kushner losing his top secret clearance?
Oh, that was awesome.
Hilarious.
That's awesome.
Well, no,
There's like,
I think
there's like 5 countries they found out were trying to find ways to manipulate fucking Jared Kushner. He's asked for more top secret documents since since Trump's been in office than literally anybody else almost combined.
I hope he's the first among many. That's all I got to say about that bullshit. Because you know, they find out a whole slew of them, then it goes up the ladder at that point.
Yeah. You know, I saw a meme today.
To the point of arming the teachers. I don't know how many of you guys remember the Philando. What is his name? Philando Castillo.
Philando Castillo. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he was a teacher, and before he got shot, he even told the cops, "Look, I have a gun in my car, but I have a license to carry it," and they still fucking shot him.
I know.
Yeah. Well, keep putting more guns into a situation doesn't fucking do anything, you know? It just adds more fucking guns, you know? And who knows, you might not know who the good guy is, you know? There might be 10 good guys, you know, and all of a sudden they don't see the shooter, but they see each other pointing guns at each other, you know? And
True Sherm, what's up, man?
there's that sexy man. Oh man,
Is my microphone on?
Yeah.
You're good, man.
Dude,
you hear what I hear?
Dude, I have fapped to you so many
No, but I
times,
can see
man.
you
I gotta
blink
tell
as
you,
usual.
I have fapped to True Sherm so many fucking times. I can't believe it. My fucking right arm is getting muscular, man.
Demonetized, Atheist Ranger. Demonetized.
My shit's already demonetized.
I'm glad I never bothered monetizing.
Oh, with all the bullshit that goes on with it, why do, man?
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna stop by, say what's up, say what's going on, say hello to all the people, have everyone, just say what's up. Yeah, it's been a while since I said what's up to you in Atheist Ranger.
I know. Hearing an echo though.
Hey, did you give Paul the link, Atheist Ranger, or?
Yeah, I sent him an invite. I don't know what's wrong. If he's not getting in. I mean, someone else can give him the link.
Hey, Sherm, that avatar you got, man, really triggers me. I want you to change it. Okay.
I think it looks awesome.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Atheist Ranger. Atheist Veteran wants to join in. Is it okay if I send him the link?
Yeah, I did. I sent him an invite via the YouTube creator thing, but yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, I can send him a link through Twitter.
Yeah.
See, this is why I don't trust the invite thing. I always just PM my guests with a link.
Yeah.
It never fucking works.
Well, I mean, I've been sniped way too many times in the past for that fucking shit to happen. I mean, that's why I got that. To anyone who doesn't know, I had a stock account created up called Skeptic Rain.
Is that sniping shit still happening? Like,
not recently. I'm just saying that's why I don't make it public anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I'll tell you what, last time I talked to Heretic, after their hangout was over, man, me and her had a nice conversation about a lot of shit, man.
It was like an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
It
was like, damn, man, the hangout is more, or the after show is more fun than the fucking hangout. Yeah.
I know, it always is.
It's not that you can't snipe somebody. It's just that if you only bring in people that you like, they won't snipe you.
Yeah.
Sniping is not something Google's fixed. To them, it's a feature. Like I could go right now, I could go and look at the people in the hangout, and everybody's listed, even the people that haven't showed up yet. And I can start Xing people out of here, including Atheist Ranger, and it's his flipping YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it would end the broadcast as soon as I did Atheist Ranger. 5 minutes later, there goes the broadcast.
And they know exactly that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just. Can you post the link in the? Because I'm not finding the link to the stream.
No, I'll post a link here in the side chat.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, all you got to do is if you just copy what's in the address bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. It's in the side chat here.
Yeah, because Paul says he's still having trouble.
Well, if someone can send him to the direct link.
Well, that's Paul. You know, he's special. You know, I mean,
I don't know. I've never talked to him, so I have a direct.
Says you're not in some circles.
Well, it says that to me too. Actually, David tells me that you're not in my circle, but that's probably because we know each other on Facebook, as opposed to the dinosaur that is Google Plus.
But we know each other on Google Plus. We're in the Great Debate community together.
Yeah,
Like, I'm a moderator in the Great Debate community.
yeah, but we don't like follow each other on Google.
yeah.
Oh, well, let me fix that. Maybe it won't say that anymore. Let me go in there and find you. Here.
Hey, wait. Quick question: am I still a part of the Great Debate community? Because I thought I was kicked out because of inactivity.
I'm following Heretic Woman.
I don't even get into that shit.
I have no idea.
As far as I know, all you have to do is just go to the Great Debate Community Facebook page and post.
Who's echoing?
It has been too long. That's me. That's me. It's always me. It's my phone is garbage.
True Shem. Okay, let me look you up.
But as far as I know, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still in there, True Shem. You're still part of it.
What's up, guys?
Who's the YouTube content creator?
That is, he is also known as the Atheist Veteran. Well,
Oh, okay.
yeah, in fact, we have, ladies and gentlemen, we have two, if Chushem doesn't mind me saying, we have two veterans in here.
I'm a vet.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I'm a vet too. Are you kidding me?
no,
I'm a veteran.
calm down. I forgot.
Veteran of camp war. You know,
We have four
Fighting in
veterans.
the-
My apologies.
fighting in the bars in
in
Germany.
the field, boy. I was hiding in the trenches.
Yeah, I was in the artillery. I used to like to blow shit up.
Well, I'm Canadian. I'm not sure we still have an army. Well,
Yeah, you do.
I was in the dock in the infantry. I was dock. I was not actually infantry. I was
medic.
Some medic. I just had to deal with the infantry, which is always fun.
About as much fun as dealing with the artillery, because you got to go to the fucking field.
I was
but
the unit burn guy.
At least the artillery, we're smart enough not to see stopping bullets as a career move. But anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, we also enjoyed riding everywhere we went. Yeah.
Well, this was mechanized infantry, so they did ride.
They got the 113.
Oh, wait a minute. There was a mass shooting that happened, and Atheist Ranger and True Sherm are on the same hangout at the same time.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Uh-oh.
Who's echoing?
That's true.
Okay.
Does he has a
I got headphones
It's
on.
always me. Always.
Yes.
if you plug some headphones into the phone, it might help.
No, I mean, Chushem did make a video about it that if actually he can probably state more of what he said than I can.
Okay.
Well, basically, I'm not saying anything in terms of like it being some sort of false flag. I think that's just ridiculous. But I definitely do think there's propaganda behind it. I don't think that a gun ban overall is going to do anything except for make the problem worse. I think we do need stronger gun control. However, I do honestly believe we need to make it harder to get guns into these kind of crazy fucking people's hands, especially when we had multiple warnings for it, we had multiple calls for it, and we saw the kind of the response from the police and the FBI. So, I mean, I don't know. What's your take on it?
Well, they had the as for an agenda. CNN actually got popped for scripting some of their interviews, and which I don't understand why. But arming teachers. I just think that's one of the dumbest things anybody could fucking come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid was 18 fucking years old or some shit like that, right? He can't buy a fucking beer, but he could buy, and he had past mental health issues. you know. And when they go, oh, we got to keep the guns out of the people that are, you know.
But he's already got rid of the law that said people with mental health issues didn't have guns. He was like, oh no, that's not a good law to have.
The problem is nobody needs a freaking assault weapon.
No, you're right.
Well,
I mean, did you hear about the reports from the hospital? I mean, they look.
Is there anyone that would argue against that?
Reports from the hospital. Yeah, one today, but they open up the ones for wounds, and the organs are just decimated. You know, they're going to die. They can't save it.
Well, my only argument against we don't need assault rifles, my only argument against that is that more than likely, especially like I'm living in the hood, more than likely you're going to have a crime committed against you with a concealed handgun, not an assault rifle. Now, in terms of like mass shootings, more than likely they're going to probably more or less be AR-15, something like that. But in most crimes in this country, it's usually handguns that are the culprit to people being shot, not AR-15s or any of that. But again, I wouldn't say who needs what. You know, if you feel comfortable with a AR-15, because I know there are people who are sane, who are, logical thinking people who own tons of guns. Yeah. And they don't go on mass shootings, and so it's not the gun. I personally just think it's the people.
But it's
what does the average citizen need with a fucking assault rifle?
Nothing.
Like, if you can't even justify that with hunting, because if you need an assault rifle to hunt, you're a shitty hunter. I'm sorry.
Well, it's to not infringe on the Second Amendment. I mean, if you want to own an assault rifle, it should be your right.
The Second Amendment, right? If you read it, I mean, goddamn, when it was written, we had muskets, right? And we didn't also, when they talk about well-regulated militia, and when this was written, the United States did not have a standing army.
Yes.
No, they didn't.
And that was one of the reasons when they put in the whole thing about well-regulated militia.
Yeah, also,
so they could call, but not, your local fucking gun nuts that, want to go out and, protect the neighborhood and walk around with fucking AR-15s.
You're right on that.
How do you feel about the sheriffs who stood by and didn't necessarily do anything about?
I think they should be fired.
How do you feel about that?
Publicly shamed and fired.
I agree with you completely there about the standing army. We didn't have the money. We were $35 million in debt, which was money back then. You need a fleet to move an army. A lot of money now, Paul. The logistics of moving an army is horrendous back in that day.
Yeah,
it's bad today, but it was terrible back
I know. I was about to say I want $35 million.
But yeah, when people start talking about like Second Amendment and we don't want to infringe upon the Second Amendment, what about other people's rights? Well, like when I was in a restaurant, I was in a place not too long ago, right, in this little pub, just having a couple beers and a burger, right. There's a guy sitting over across the way, right, playing with a fucking handgun. Right? Just cocking it or whatever they call it, that thing and shit, fucking around with it, And I'm like, how the fuck do I know this guy's not going to start shooting it at any moment? Yeah. Right? He doesn't have a fucking sign on his head that says good guy,
It occurred to me when somebody was saying, the Second Amendment right to bear arms, that's arms. That's not guns. Right. So, and you could be armed with a knife. You could be armed with a sword. You could be armed with a club. It says arm. It does not.
Yeah. But guns fall in that category.
It does.
Right.
But if ban guns, you're not technically.
I just don't have the same kind of. I don't have the same kind of fear. Like, what if that man with the gun could do something? I don't have that kind of innate.
Well, you've never been to Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
Here's the thing, though.
For what it's worth, and it's not like, but I'm in Denver now. But when I moved from Florida, I was only 5 miles from that school. And I used to take the the Sawgrass Mills Expressway. You went by that school and then when I used to cut through the neighborhood to get back home for my wife's sisters, I will go by that school or go up a little further and go by some horse fields.
Well, I'll tell you.
But anyway,
Hey, this is just a fun fact. Paul moved to Denver because pot's legal there.
Oh, is that what?
Well, I just say about it that, like, I'm a lot more susceptible to listening to what other people have to say about it instead of like my usual arrogant, prickish way of describing things in my own mind.
Oh, there you go.
There has to be there has to be a consensus to where we could all come together and talk about this to a degree to where it's not that we ban on the guns, but at the same time, it's not that we have this overzealous fear of guns at the same time.
Agree.
Because you could take away the guns, and you could still murder a large amount of people with just a knife.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's like,
in Providence, it seems like every fucking night on the news, somebody got stabbed in Providence. Right? It's not a gun problem. People get shot, but it's more knifings in Providence, because
in Toronto,
people get disrespected.
They like machetes in Toronto, but
yeah.
And here's the thing,
but not to that degree.
Here's the thing.
A man today snuck 500 bats underneath his jacket, went to the 10th floor, and threw the bats 500 yards. Like, thousands of people.
The whole thing with the Second Amendment and owning guns, I've got kind of a litmus test. I ask people, and I know people that have a lot of guns and stuff, and they like to shoot them or show them to people and stuff, and but I always ask people, why do you own a gun? Why do you want to own a gun, a weapon like that? And if they say something like, I like guns, or I like to go out to the range every once in a while and just vent and blow off some steam and shoot a couple hundred rounds, whatever, I like to collect them, or something like that. I understand that, right? But when you ask some people why they want to own a weapon like that, and they start with it's Second Amendment, it's my constitutional right, I think that right there should be a fucking disqualifier, because you're the guy that's more likely to be a dick about the entire fucking thing.
Yeah. I
and I'm like, oh, you got an AR-15. You are aware that they can shoot a fucking missile hundreds of fucking miles and deliver it right through your living room window, right? Once they come for our guns,
It's the whole mere fact that, like, I would never get that fucking patriotic over it. Like, to me, it's just kind of annoying with like crying about it over, like in terms of just overzealously not thinking about it, because these people want the government to come in and grab the guns, but you have to understand, Trump is the government. You trust this guy to come in and grab the guns? Okay.
And here's
good luck.
There's people in our government. There's people in our government who think good.
Never, ever, ever in America, you are never going to get everybody's guns.
No,
it's not going to fucking happen. Just ain't going to fucking happen. I don't care if you make it illegal or not, Paul. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
Talking about taking everybody's gun. I'm talking about.
But that's what they think. That's what the gun think people are talking about. That's what they fucking think. So
assault weapons don't need to be out there. Period.
There is no assault weapons.
Nobody needs a bullet that goes 3,300 feet a second.
AR-15 is classified as an assault rifle.
No, it's a rifle. It's a rifle. AR does not stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite. So let's classify our weapons correctly.
Nobody needs a gun that has a bullet that goes 3,300 feet a second.
That's the ammunition. That we need to look at the ammunition. We don't need to look at the thing that fires the ammunition, because that's irrelevant. It's the ammunition you need to look at. Okay, let's look at that. Let's look at this.
Whatever you need to fix it.
That's what I'm saying. We need to talk about these things and look at how they work specifically, because they're machines. They really are.
I say that we strengthen soft targets, because there
are people that can shoot a revolver faster than that AR-15 can shoot.
Yeah, but the people they hit internal organs don't go splatter.
It doesn't matter what happens to your internal organ if they shoot you in the head. You're dead.
It only takes one bullet to kill you.
Yes. it's all about the intent. The focus needs to be people. It doesn't need to be the weapons they use, because all it takes is one bullet with one person with bad intent with one bullet to kill one person.
Look,
That's
you
all
have
it
to,
takes.
in this country, you have to have a license to drive a car.
Yes.
You have to prove that you're proficient. You have to have a license to cut fucking hair, right?
Yes.
I don't understand why there shouldn't be some sort of proficiency test, right? You know, to go through training, like driver's ed, something like that.
Should be, it should be something you have to renew too.
Yeah, and you know,
that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do. So when I turned 16, I was old enough to get a gun. Now, I'm from a long line of rednecks, so as soon as I got 16, my daddy wanted me to go get my gun license.
That's why you have red hair, right?
Yeah, and it was called a firearms acquisition certificate is what I had to, and I had to do a 2-day course at a fire hall with an accredited instructor, and part of that was a practical exam, just like a driver exam, where I was with a group of 3 other guys. I was the only woman in the class, or girl, whatever. And we had to show with weapons that the ministry had confiscated and disabled, so they wouldn't actually fire. But we still had to show that we knew how to handle the weapons in a responsible manner. And they had us act like we were in a hunting party. They had like fake fences that we had to climb over and show how to move the weapons safely. All of that shit before we got a license. And there's me, 16-year-old girl, with like 3 other guys who were somewhere between 16 and probably 19. And I was the only one that fucking passed because those idiots didn't want to listen to the instructor. Oh, we know what we're doing. We've been out with our dads since forever and blah, blah, blah. I passed, they failed. And that was strictly because they thought they knew what was happening and they didn't listen to the instructor. Do you want somebody who's that cocky and arrogant handling any kind of ballistic weapon without understanding the gravity of the item that they're handling? Well, I figured it out, and I've been shooting air rifles since I don't know how long. And I figured it out. I was all good to go. But that's what's needed. And we do that here, and we don't have the same kind of issues at all. Now, and actually for us, rifles are quite prolific, but handguns, you practically have to ransom your firstborn child to even take a handgun to a range. Like, you have to have some kind of license to own it. Then you have to have a separate license to transport it anywhere. So those are extremely regulated.
Yeah, a handgun could be considered arguably more dangerous because of the ability to conceal it. You cannot walk down the street with any kind of rifle, or what would be considered assault, what some people call assault rifles, even though they're not really that any more different than any other rifle.
Well, and that's why they limit the size of the barrel. You can't make the barrel too short, because then it becomes concealable.
Concealable, right. The concealing factor is really a huge thing when it comes to that. And it, like, shotguns are like one of the few things you can buy before you can buy rifles here. And then it's long guns, and then it's handguns. Handguns are just like 21. Then there's the gun show loophole. That's a huge one in my eye.
See, that's a thing we don't have, because we don't have gun shows.
Well, either outlaw the damn gun shows or have somebody who can run people through the NICS database on every transaction.
Yeah, but then you get people pissing and moaning because you're invading upon their privacy.
Fuck their privacy.
They're getting your information because they're going to come after your guns when they're going to know where you are.
You have more guns in this country than you have people, And you know, it's like you're either gonna have to incinerate all the guns, or you're gonna have to get it to where we needed to get it to where how serious this issue truly is in terms of not only weapon safety but also prevention from the wrong guns getting into the wrong hands.
Yeah.
And
that's
those
the best
people
we
at
can
gun
do.
shows, those people at gun shows that complain, they don't need to go to gun shows then. If they have something that hide on their background, they don't need to go to gun shows. That's just plain long and short of it. If you are that worried about your background, don't go to a gun show.
I'll definitely compromise with the background check. You know, I'll definitely. You know, I'm more on the side of the Second Amendment than I am with anything else. But if we could come to terms where we could limit these shootings and keep our children safe, then I'm all in favor for background check, making sure your ass is mentally stable to handling a gun, and we have to get tougher on it. We really do, in my personal opinion, because
we should probably let the CDC study it. Lift that little restriction too. Hey, CDC,
that boggles my mind. That
let the CDC study that correlation between mental illnesses.
Wait, is that real? They don't.
That's real.
No, they don't.
That's wow. Wow.
With this administration, you ain't going to get anybody qualified.
The thing about mental health, right, is you can take an exam, right, and be in great mental. Your mental health can be in good condition, whatever you want to call it, right? You're not really having issues in your life. That can change on a daily basis, right?
Well, I mean, there's a thing. I mean, you run into the problem. What mental illnesses will be counted out? Because as many of you know, I'm autistic. Okay, so I mean, if the mental health check were to go into effect, who's to say that I can't own a gun?
No,
I wouldn't say that they would take that into consideration that you're autistic. Now, if you were a schizopath, you know,
what's a schizopath?
Excuse me,
big range of conditions.
No, I mean,
that's why you have to let them study the correlation.
An evaluation, because we had evaluations when we were in the military. We had evaluations where they evaluate our psyche. We knew the trajectory of these guns. Yeah. We knew the firepower of these guns. We knew the bullet capacity of these guns. So we knew what they can do. And most of the times we couldn't set it to automatic, you know, and we couldn't necessarily just automatically do anything. You know, the guns, you had to have a precise understanding about whatever gun you were handling. Otherwise, it wouldn't work properly, or you would endanger. They call it friendly fire, but it's you just shooting another motherfucker on accident. Really, it's nothing friendly about it.
Well, let me correct myself real quick, because I feel like an idiot for saying that schizopath thing. Yeah, just let me correct myself real quick.
Yeah, because
that's what I mean.
Oh, you're schizoaffective or schizophrenic?
No, I'm just saying. I didn't mean to say schizopath.
Because
talking about driver's license. When I was a kid, you had to have your family doctor approve you.
For what?
Driver's license.
Really?
Yes.
I never heard of that.
Well, it's not being done anymore. But I was a kid, I had to go to my family doctor. Because kids were trying to get licenses. Now, after a certain age, maybe that was no longer in effect. But you had to go to the family doctor to be approved, at least for the beginning license, like 16 and whatever.
But now, here's the strange part about all this, though. We were doing all this for the car, but yet the car kills more people than the gun does.
No. Let's not start that fucking argument, because
it's an argument. How can you not start it if it's a legitimate argument?
It's not a legitimate argument. You know,
how's it not? Killing.
Straw man.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait, time out. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. So terrorists don't use cars to kill? You don't have people misusing cars on a regular routine basis. This is a big difference between misuse,
you don't have
irresponsibility,
people in
and
general using them.
How many
but,
people need
but
to have
to just say that cars are not tools of destruction, so therefore they're just off the argument plane. That's
Well, no,
I
I
don't know.
mean,
That's not a fallacy argument to me. To me, that's kind of more of a scapegoat to just say that cars and guns are not on the same playing field. Which I'm not saying they're on the playing field. But what I'm saying is that
has multiple uses.
What
a
I'm
fucking
saying is
assault
that
rifle has one use, and that's to basically kill something.
that's not true. That's
That
not true.
is true.
That is not true because everyone who
No,
owns
no, it is
everyone
true.
who legally everyone who legally owns and I think we're using the wrong verbiage, by the way. I don't think it's assault rifle, but you'll have to look up Steven Crowder for that. The thing about it is, for everyone who owns an assault rifle, they're not going out and killing people right now. What is their purpose for owning a gun? So that's not true. That's not a true statement, in my personal opinion.
Well, then, I'll tell you what.
You know,
Do us all a
they
favor.
do
Don't
that
drive a
all,
car
you know, a machine gun, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
99% of all
thing
gun
is-
owners. Yeah, sorry. And 99% of all gun owners are actually law-abiding citizens.
Right.
we're not denying that.
No, nobody's
Yeah.
denying that. But see, the fact is, these days, killing people has become, people are so desensitized, right? There's people out there, and I'm not blaming video games, but I kind of am, you know, because some people take it all fucking wacky. Some people get their fucking gun training by playing fucking video games, right? They think it's cool, man. Oh, look at them firing. No, listen to me.
Vice.
No. There are
Video-
kids out there, people that want to buy guns like the ones they see in video games.
Okay, video game
And they
training
don't understand. They don't
versus my
understand.
training. I could kill 1,000
Can I finish?
motherfuckers.
Can I finish? You know, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, now it's like the norm. You know, kids get shot at fucking schools, right? You know, it's not cars that are fucking driving into schools killing kids, right? It's not knives being used. Well, yeah, of course there are sometimes, but it's not cars driving into schools. It's kids with fucking AR-15s, whatever, however the fuck you want to classify them. High capacity magazines. This kid was able to get all the extra ammo that he got when he finally stopped shooting, when he couldn't get that position to shoot the kids that were fleeing, right? They found tons of shit. How the fuck does he get this shit? You know? And why? You know? I mean, you go, oh, cars kill people and knives kill people and hammers kill people, but they don't go into, you know.
But you make it seem like everyone who owns a machine gun is doing that.
No, I
Make it seem
don't.
like-
No. Matter of fact, a couple years ago, I went out to a range and got to shoot an a 50 caliber machine gun. You know, I love watching.
What's the fear? Because what I was trying to allude to, and I wasn't trying to cut you off or anything, I was just trying to allude to that video game training versus the training that I got in the military. I could kill 100 motherfuckers right now with my bare hands. There's no recoil. There's no ammo that needs to be reloaded. There's no jam. There's none of that.
Can't be.
I myself could be a weapon of mass destruction. And again, you don't need a gun. You don't need any knives or any of that. And kids, what the hell do they know, Vice? What the parents in their lives ought to be doing?
Try to kill 100.
Dear Shem, you're starting to turn me on now.
Oh, I got a boner. You know. Oh, Paul left.
But you know what?
Okay.
Can we all just like talk about how
Change
the
the
FBI
topic.
completely dropped the ball on this?
No, in this specific instance, yes.
Oh yeah,
Fuck yes.
And they
That is
also
absolutely
screwed
true.
up on the pulse knife, the pulse shooting, because the guy
Yes,
was
they did.
on the watch list, and he was able to get a gun.
Yeah.
Well,
I think on that, though,
to
we should
me-
honestly change the topic.
Yeah,
All right.
let's just talk about squirrels or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I caught my cat embezzling from me again. You know.
Yeah, cats are for that. You guys can talk about Justin Trudeau dancing around in his Indian outfits.
He's a
Oh,
wacky
sim
dude.
sim salabim. I'm sorry, I had to do that.
I would rather have Justin Trudeau than fucking Trump, man.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, this is what makes me laugh about Canadian politics, right? Because in our news cycle, every bitching about Trudeau being an idiot in India, and I'm like, who fucking cares? At least he's not destroying the country.
Well, did you see Trump when he went to Saudi Arabia and he was dancing at that like sword thing? I mean, that didn't look like it was awkward.
Yeah, not a bit. I
was gonna say we're dealing with the idiot here, so we don't have to go to India for that.
Yeah. But if you look at Trump's eyes, you know, around his eye socket and everything, it's the only thing on his body that's white. You know what I'm saying? It looks like he wears those little swim goggles when he gets his orange spray tan.
He probably does. I'm pretty sure that's what they put on people.
Oh, you want to hear about stupid people? I don't know how many Atheism is Unstoppable fans we have in here, but he made an excellent video, and I think one of you in here mentioned me. Yes, Tommy Lauren. I was going to talk about that because
Lauren or Lorraine.
He's the one with the boxing kangaroo.
Yeah. I like him until he starts his race baiting videos, or starts his white people videos.
I liked him until I found out he was doxing people. Then I was just like,
no, I mean he made a good video about Tommy Lauren, and she did one of her final thoughts that was honestly one of her stupidest ones yet. She honestly implied that without a religion, society will crumble.
She topped herself? Wow.
Yeah.
I hate that term final thought because it implies that you just got shot in the face.
I wish it would be her fucking final thought.
Don't we all?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking God.
I just heard on Twitter from Reese or Nightmare Fuel that AIU got his channel taken down.
Again?
Yeah, for another copyright strike, I guess.
Nah.
Hate speech.
Hate speech for what?
I don't know.
Because he gets into the race baiting and what's racist and what's not racist, and he jumps on the fucking SJWs really hard, and at times that can be kind of touchy, but just the way it's the way he operates, I guess. But we've got people in our government right now that actually think that shooting in Florida was a fucking false flag. One guy lost his job over it, but there's still people in this fucking administration that think it was a false flag.
Let's not even talk. We're I think I made someone mad even. Let's not even go there anymore.
Yeah, you chased them away, True.
Yeah, well, don't worry, True. I've done it a few times. I've rage quit.
Go ahead,
sorry. I really wasn't trying to chase no one away. I apologize.
Weirdos getting those panels taken down and people talking about false flags. Did you guys hear that Alex Jones's InfoWars is one hit away from being permanently erased from YouTube?
Oh,
that actually saddens me.
Blessing in disguise.
That actually saddens me a little bit because it's like, wow, I have nothing to laugh at anymore. I have no more.
Well,
I can't wake up in the middle of the night and scare myself half to death, or look at Alex Jones with that little turkey thing under his neck anymore. It's going to be a sad day.
Cockroaches like Alex Jones will never go anywhere. I mean, their channel will be taken down, but something else will pop up, or they'll get a deal with Fox News or something like Tommy Lorraine did. So, you can look forward to seeing his little nasty neck thing.
Honestly, I really don't see how Tommy Lorraine even got that fucking job, because
she's a pretty blonde girl. Of course she got the job at Fox.
Yeah, I was about to say, how she got that job.
I know it's a mundane, I know it's a rhetorical question, but I mean, like when she was on Bill Maher's show, you can just tell she was just a little girl trying to sit at the big girls table when it comes to discussing politics.
Just like when she was on The Daily Show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's good when she doesn't have a script in front of her, or a little fucking, prompt. Her script in front of her. Teleprompter, yeah.
She's constitutional.
Well,
I thought it was funny because Alex Jones is beyond laughable. I think he's dangerous. He's fucking.
Oh, yeah. You should watch this new video from Creationist Cat. They just did like a thing on Alex Jones and Milo
Yiannopoulos.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because isn't Milo hawking some kind of supplement shit on InfoWars.
Yeah, was it a
Brain Force?
Brain Force, yeah.
Those two should just get together with Gwyneth Paltrow and start touring the country with snake oil tents. Like,
have you guys ever heard of Evil Ice Cream Pictures?
No.
I got something to share with the Hangout then, because this is about a minute long.
Oh boy.
And it's funny. They do like parodies. This is called Tiny Trump, the Pocket Otis.
It can't be any worse than Trumpy Bear.
Oh fuck! I was gonna do a video on that one.
So present me, Atheist Ranger.
Oh shit!
That's cool.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, there's two of me right now because I'm on my phone right now, and the other one's on my laptop.
Okay, let me mute.
Having audio issues once again.
And I have to change my output to.
Oh, you can do that. If
I was
not,
about to say, Atheist Ranger, you're beside yourself. Get it? Get it? No one? Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Change my microphone to stereo mix. Hold on.
Into your rim shot.
We are not going to be.
I thought he was that tall the whole time.
The little books he's standing on.
That's awesome.
Another country.
Oh, this is a fantastic video.
Themselves.
I will faithfully execute
Oh, go CeeLo Green.
office of President of the United States.
In there.
Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan's there.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, those shots like that of people like standing there, like looking at the Lincoln Memorial. It's like that's.
I'm genuinely confused. I thought he was that size the whole time.
There's also a really cute video I shared about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's clips of Trump speaking where he's doing this with his hands, and somebody has put a squeeze box between his hands.
Yeah.
Everyone, and it's like,
Have they turned Trump into a shooting star yet?
I certainly hope so.
They need to do that.
Somewhere towards maybe that would be good.
I mean, I hope we can shoot him into space sometime soon.
They should have put him in the fucking Tesla. They just
they should have made him the passenger. Then they could have put him in the meme that says, "Where the fuck is my Uber driver taking me?"
Nah, we should put him in the Red Rover.
Red Rover, come on and send David right over. Who remembers that game, man?
This was the most exclusive trip, Mr. President. No one in the world will ever get to go on this trip but you. You know, it's this great opportunity to show your I don't know.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah,
it'll be the best trip ever.
Yeah.
Big league.
It'll be big, successful.
I just think it's amazing how we've got a president who sounds dumber when he talks than fucking Bush. You know,
I didn't think that was possible.
Well, that's why he got elected.
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, he's like a real guy," you know, and stuff. And
people elected him because they made them feel smart.
Yeah.
God, when
like talking to a toddler.
Trump makes anyone feel smart.
Yeah, it makes me feel smart. Never scare people. You know.
I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but Trump makes G-Man look like Einstein. Seriously.
I don't know. That'd be kind of a
that's reaching for it.
I disagree with you, Atheist Ranger.
I do too.
G-Man is smarter than Trump, to be honest with you.
I'm pretty sure
my cat is smarter than Trump.
50-50.
He at least engages in debate, whether, you know. even though it's poorly.
No, he doesn't. It's not a debate when you're in the fucking room with G-Man. I mean, goddamn, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No, well, guys, let's be honest here. According to G-Man, he's never lost a debate.
Oh yeah, he's never everybody.
He's
Matt
never had
Dillahunty and Aaron Ross.
Never had a debate.
Afraid of them. You know,
He's never had a debate. You can't lose what you've never had.
There we go.
I'd like to see a debate between Brett Keane and fucking G-Man. I think that would be
Debate about
something.
They agree.
I don't know, mac and cheese and tuna casserole or something. I don't fucking know. And just them arguing back and forth with the way they talk and stuff would be just fucking, I don't know.
The one time I spent any amount of time in a room with him was when I did the after hangout of Shannon Q, and you know he was polite as could be with Shannon Q, of course, because she's a white woman.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, he was polite.
That sounds a little racist to me. I mean, I think he should clarify that. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck.
You know the deal. You know the deal.
Yeah.
He's got a thing for white women.
Yeah, he had that thing for Shanny for a while.
Shanny for Christ. Shannon Q. You know, I'm not saying that Shanny.
Cupcakes for Shanny.
Shanny's not, you know, not my type, but Shannon Q is a very attractive woman, and Paula Gia's got a winner.
Yeah,
because she's smart and she's, you know, she's really fun to talk to, and she's a great person.
Yeah, I remember when she had that interview with G-Man, and I was like, God, man, she's got G-Man under her thumb, like within like 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, this is how my therapist acts towards me, you know? They'll let me talk for a while and go, yeah, and then kind of ask a question. And what I think I'm hearing you say is, and correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm like, God, this is like my fucking
She's a psychologist. Well, she's a psychologist.
Yeah.
That's her
job.
job.
And so I'm like, God, this is like my, my fucking monthly appointment.
Well, so then he comes to the after hangout, and who's in there? Let's see, we got Sock Account, we got Hogtie Champ. Who else was in there but Wolf? Oh, yeah, Wolf was in there. The only thing that would have made it worse was if Pew Review showed up. It might have been better. It might have been worse. Oh, Jade was in there too, Jade West. So, yeah.
I like Jade.
Yeah, I like Jade too, but I don't know if G-Man likes Jade.
He doesn't, but
I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
No, just real quick, though, since this is the first time these two have been on at least a hangout of mine. Prometheus, do you want to discuss that video that you've been getting a lot of attention on with new people here?
Yeah, sure. I did a video called Anti-Theists versus Cultural Christianity, and apparently Nightmare Fuel made a video like a couple days later talking about the exact same thing, and I assume one of our mutual subscribers linked my video in his comments section, and all of a sudden he commented on my video, he liked it, and then he mirrored it onto his channel, and all of a sudden I'm getting a bunch of people subscribing to me. Even Billy Bong saw it, and Godless Cranium saw it. Godless Cranium now follows me on Twitter.
That's cool.
So it's kind of it's really exciting.
Well, you sound excited, you know. I mean,
Yeah, and I also if there's anyone's interested, I actually mirrored that video on my channel.
Oh yeah, he mirrored one of the other
ones,
cultural Christianity videos I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lately, I've just been making Facebook Live videos about the train wreck that is my life. Oh, I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, this was so fucking funny the other day when I was in the hospital. I'm not gonna get names or like that, but this, we're in the day room watching TV, right? And they were talking about Billy Graham's funeral, right? And I was looking at that, and I just went, God, con artist, right? And this guy that was sitting down, he's got this book, and he goes, yeah, that's right, you know. And then he goes, yeah, because I've been studying the book of Psalms, you know, and it says right here that no man. And I'm like, I just looked at him and stopped him. I said, you do know that it's all bullshit, right? And apparently he was leaving that day because I don't think I ever saw him again. But I just looked over at him and I said, you know, you do know it's all bullshit, right? He's like, He kind of looked like Trump for a second when he was making fun of that handicap guy.
I don't know what to do when you drop that on them, I find.
Yeah.
In my experience, most of them don't handle it very well.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you a question about, I haven't seen that video, and I think I'd like to, but when you're talking about anti-theist versus cultural Christianity, are you talking about like people that are like the warm and fuzzy Christians that let shit go because, you know, at least they believe in something, you know, type shit?
Yeah.
Or like the Christians that make fun of Pat Robertson and them guys, you know, those guys they're the real wackos. I'm like, you believe the same fucking shit, you know?
Yeah.
But so is it kind of like that, or?
Well, yeah, the cultural Christians are, in this incarnation, they're atheists that are saying that, you know what, we were better off in a Christian society than going in a secular direction. People like Coach Red Pill, Black Pigeon Speaks. I did one on Rocking Mr. E. He's this kind of right-wing philosopher. I did, and it's being led by this Jordan Peterson guy. This.
Oh, I can't stand that. He's a Christian, though. He's not an atheist.
I know. Well, yeah, but he's like converting like atheists to this sort of cultural Christianity phenomenon.
I can't.
And what the fuck does that even? What?
So we're talking about atheists.
Is that like sense of community type thing, or
kind of?
Yeah, you know, like we need to respect the cultural history of that Christianity brought us, or we got our morals from Christianity, even though we don't believe it's true. We perfectly believe that society should be governed by it.
That's not a requisite of it at all.
Hi, Nicola.
Yeah, I'm the only cultural Christian in the room, apparently. So,
okay.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Discussion begin.
In its most simplistic form, cultural Christianity is just, there is a cultural aspect, a communal aspect that makes up an individual and a group's identity that you share in. It's traditions, customs, and ideas. And you don't have to be wedded to any particular ethical view, any particular view of how society should be run, no political views. It's just, if you celebrate Christmas, if you baptize, put your kids through confirmation, and get married in a church, you could be argued to be a cultural Christian. A good example would be in Quebec for many, many, many years now. If you ask people what religion they are, you'll get 80% saying that they're Catholic. Can any of them tell you anything about Catholicism? No. The reason being is they're Catholic simply because their parents were Catholic. And that's it.
Okay.
It's the point at which it almost becomes its own ethnicity, because it's become sort of ingrained. It doesn't mean that you have to have any deference or respect to the doctrines or anything like that. And it doesn't mean that you have to take the Jordan Peterson approach of saying that, you know, like if it wasn't for religion, we'd all just be raping and murdering everybody.
Yeah, and even atheists are saying these things.
Well, I am an atheist.
Yeah,
and I'm a cultural Christian.
Well, I just tell them.
I go to church regularly just because, you know, I view the nuns who used to teach me at Sunday school as kind of like secondary grandmothers.
Oh, you're not old enough to remember the old nuns, then.
Oh, no, I met the Roman Catholic nuns, and those bitches scared me. The Ukrainian Catholic nuns, on the other hand,
you know,
they were very accepting and tolerant, and they still are they're really, really fun. They have a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, some of them are. You know, when you're talking about, you know, identifying as a culture or whatever, I mean, when I'm in the hospital at the VA, you know, you get visited by different people representing different organizations and stuff. And yeah, the fucking chaplain comes in and he's like looking at me and he says, well, it sees here by our record that you identify as a non. And I said, yeah, I'm still an atheist. He goes, oh. And then he just he drops these 2 pamphlets down. And he goes, if you ever change your mind, give me a call. Right. And then his other guy came in and he was just bright and shiny guy and everything. And I was like, I just think it's all bullshit. Shiny. You know, I said,
what's he varnished?
You know, and he kind of like walked out real quick and then nobody else, you know, but, you know, I don't know. Going to church, you know, and if I had to go to a church, I'd spend most of the time laughing or making fun of people. You know,
I
the rituals.
I couldn't stand to do it. Like if I have to go to a funeral or a wedding or something, I'm fuming in my head the entire time. Like the last wedding I went to was my husband's niece. And I didn't know because I'd only met the groom a couple of times. The groom was a Jesus freak. And we weren't even there 5 minutes. My brother-in-law brings his daughter up, you know, walks her down the aisle, all of that. And the preacher starts off with, you know, oh, you've been a good dad and all of that. And you fulfilled your duty to bring your daughter here to fulfill her purpose in life. And I was like, the fuck, you know, like, I'm just like, okay, I cannot start blasting people on Facebook while I'm sitting here in the church. Nope, can't do it.
Oh, I can.
You need to come to the Prairies Heretic.
Shit.
Just a little side note.
We were blasting people in the church.
At least in
my brother got punched out on the drive to my grandpa's grave to bury him.
Damn, that sounds exciting.
So, yeah.
I did, however, get a blowjob one time in the basement at a church.
That's something I've never done. I wish I did.
So you were an altar boy.
No, I wasn't the one fucking.
I wished I'd have had sex in a church.
You thought they were mean to Jesus. You should have seen how they nailed me. But,
you know.
Oh.
Does behind the church count?
Absolutely. Parking lots count too, man. Behind the dumpster at the church counts as well. You know, I mean, we've all had to pay the rent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what Nikolai was talking about, I think I honestly do hate to sound like that, but I think the cultural Christians probably in Canada are maybe a little different from the ones that me and Prometheus have to deal with.
Well, I think it's not that the cultural Christians are different. Like, yes, culture is.
I'm saying from your country, from mine, the cultural Christians that Prometheus and I have to deal with may be a little different than the ones you hang out with, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, there is a distinction that needs to be made between Christian atheists, which is a movement, and cultural Christians. Cultural Christians are basically just Christians in name only. There's nothing really beyond them identifying and sharing in particular traditional aspects of Christianity. Like, that's the only requisite of a cultural Christian.
Yeah, but as soon as you start that,
Christian atheists, on the other hand, are the actual people who will go down the Jordan Peterson route, where he says that, you know, like, while, you know, atheism has a good case for it, you can't be moral without having a religious foundation or borrowing from. Yes, it is bullshit. Borrowing from a religious foundation.
I do have a moral barometer here, so.
Venom, go ahead.
So what you're saying, pretty much, at least I just want to make sure I get clear. It's just that we might want to reconsider how we classify this argument or classify these different.
There is a distinction to be made, which is it's kind of like saying, you know, you have your cultural Jews. They just go through, you know, like they'll have a bar mitzvah, circumcise their kids. They may or may not.
The holiday Jews.
Not all of them do, but they identify as Jewish, and there is a communal aspect about being Jewish, where, you know, they go and have rites of passage, and they have particular sorts of celebrations at synagogues. But you can also have the non-theistic religious Jews who go through, like, who basically look at the Old Testament and go, all of this sounds like a good idea. We should be slitting a goat's throat.
Sounds like a good weekend.
Damn, I'm horny again.
Yeah, and I find it interesting. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, my friend Ali Rizvi, he's in his book coined. I don't know if he's come up with it. He's probably not the first person, but he talks about being a cultural Muslim, and so he's very atheist. He's